Welcome back, everybody. We have another week episode of the Casuals podcast. This time around, we do not have our boy Canny with us, who is traveling to Atlanta and will be back in Duval shortly. But I still have with me Six and King Boog, and we're ready to dive into some NBA and NFL action with you all.
Yes, sir.
Starting off, we want to go over the OKC Thunder, who we famously picked to go under 63 and a half wins. So far, that's not looking too hot. They're 8 and 0 without J Dub so far. Boys, how are we feeling about that pick?
I'll let you start with this booger.
Not long season, we always gotta preface that, of course. And you know, so far not looking so great on the under 62 and a half. 8-0. They're off to a pretty hot start. Shea looks like the MVP still. He's looking like he's trying to get another one.
Yeah,
He's getting to the free throw line whenever he wants.
whenever.
We gotta factor that in as well. I think that should have been factored in. That this man has a spam free throw button and he will get to the line whenever he wants. So that's gonna be tough to get the under on that. But it's a long season,
It's
and
a
they got
long
the Blazers
season.
tonight, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, nah, the Blazers are going to get dominated. That's not even make it 9-0 already. I mean, Shea's in midseason form. The dude's got like that badge in 2K to where he just forced people to foul you. I swear
Yeah,
he has that badge. Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
He's so smooth with it though. Like you want to hate on him for getting the free throws, but it's like
but you
he's
can't.
still so good at everything else. Like he's great
Yeah.
defensively. He's smooth with it. And it's like, yeah, you just can't hate on it. Nah, man, I'm still holding on the under. I still don't think they rope off all. It was like 63 or 67. I don't think they rope off that many. I think there's going to be a midseason patch, but the fact that they don't have their full big three yet, it's kind of scary. Not gonna lie, but I'm still
Yeah,
riding with the under. I'm still riding with it.
yeah. Go down with the ship, man. That's what we do.
Come
That's
on,
the
come
S in casual stands for go down with the
Yeah,
ship.
on.
yeah, roll with the punches. I mean, in our defense, we did not expect a Chet Holmgren leap to come the way it has so far, and
Yeah.
in encouraging news, they've played some pretty close games. They've gone to double OT twice. They've
Mm,
gotten blowouts against the Wizards, the Pelicans, and the Clippers, but those aren't like world beating teams. They played the Rockets super close. They played the
mm,
Pacers super close without Hallie. They played the
mm.
Mavericks pretty close. They played the Kings pretty close. So it's not like
Yeah,
they're just blowing every team out of the water. I do think we're going to see some kind of regression there for sure, but also J Dub is incoming. But
Mm.
yeah, we're just gonna hang in there strong, keep it
Yeah.
casual,
Hold down the
and
fort,
see how it
boys. Let's
yeah.
goes.
go. Hold down the
I
fort.
thought J Dub was the second best player on that team, but I'm gonna be honest,
It's
he might
Chet.
come back as the
It's
third.
Chet.
Yeah, it's Chet.
Yeah,
It's Chet.
man.
You
It's
could
Chet.
tell. You
He,
could tell it's Chet because the outfits have now gotten swaggier. Like the ring, bro. Like you could tell by before he even gets onto the court, bro. He's just like, yeah, I'm him,
Yeah.
bro.
The swagger he
the
walks in,
hang
yeah.
pulls are OD,
Or D
more OD
handfuls.
than ever.
Hey, I'm still taking one man above him in the Western Conference at center though. I'm still taking Wemby above him. I'm still taking Wemby to
Okay.
dominate the Thunder. I still got Wemby taking over Chet. I still don't think Chet is even close to Wemby.
Yeah, let's hope so
Honestly,
because that'll definitely
look at
help
that.
with our under pick if
Yeah.
the Spurs can sweep them. But Wemby has been
Yeah.
going crazy. He
Mm,
is Chet 2, 3, 4.0. Right
mm.
now, he's second in MVP odds. Do you guys think that'll keep up? What what do you think Wemby has to do to overtake Shea and these gods that we've seen over the last few years, like Luka,
Yeah.
Jokic, and Giannis,
Mm.
to
You know,
win the MVP this year and become the youngest MVP in league history? If he can get it done this season, he will do it younger than Derrick Rose did.
yeah, I think on the Phoenix Suns the other night kind of exposed some of his weaknesses, but in turn, I think it's going to make him better. I think that being so early in the season and the Suns exposing what he's bad at, forcing these turnovers, forcing him to make these awkward body passes that turn into turnovers. I think that seeing it so early in the season, you got Greg Popovich still connected with the Spurs. You know what I mean? You got great coaching staff with the Spurs still. I think that early on, seeing a team expose his weaknesses gives them time to correct it. And I think after All-Star break, we're going to see a second half like no other. I mean, it's still super early in the season. He's going to have these few bumps while these teams are exposing him. But by All-Star break, by halfway through the season, when this coaching staff really helps Wemby, in this position, you need to do these two steps instead of freaking out as a young player he is. I think we're going to see Wemby though. He matures quicker than a normal NBA player. We see that with his growth alone. I think he's still going to hit his stride after the second half and win MVP.
I think in order to win MVP, like you said, like Derrick Rose, I'm pretty sure the Bulls that season weren't they the 1 seed? Did they?
They were the one
I, th-
seed
I
over
think
the Heatles with LeBron and them.
yeah. I think that's the path for him to win MVP. Like the record, I mean, it has to be there. So that's gonna play a big part of it. They have to, at least win enough games because if the Thunder do smash our over under. If they do hit that 64 win, it's gonna be
It's going
hard
to be
to like,
tough.
get a team, give the MVP, to a guy with 10 less wins. But I think that's the path. And if he can keep putting up numbers, it'll be, maybe he can get like a Russell Westbrook type MVP, where the numbers are just like, hey man, like he's doing all this and his
Yeah.
supporting cast isn't like world beaters, De'Aaron Fox. I don't even know if he's played yet. So,
No. Well,
it's
I
that
got a
that
question,
that could be
man.
the path too.
I got a question for you. If
Yeah,
they get to the 4 seed, say they're the 4 seed, but he's the best
yeah.
defensive player, leads the league in
Mhm.
blocks, and he puts up great number of steals, and he's leading his team offensively. If they're the 4 seed, you don't think he's getting the MVP, given he's the best defensive player as well?
I think the 4 seed maybe, but it just depends. If it's Jokic ahead of him, if it's SGA ahead of him, it's we gotta because Jokic is still doing shit. I mean, he made a pass over. What's my man name? Y'all seen that pass? What's my man name? He
Sabonis,
made that
Sabonis.
Sabonis, bro, freaking out, bro. Like catch the ball, you big
Yeah,
doofus, bro. Like come on, man. Like you gotta hit at least hit the ball, but
Gave him a
nah.
buzz cut, bro.
Like if he's still dropping triple double, if he's
yeah.
still dropping triple doubles every night, and
Voter
the
fatigue.
Nuggets are but that could be a pad too, but
Yeah,
you know,
voter
I think
fatigue is a
Wemby's got
real
to
thing
go
for
like
sure, but we also know how much. Yeah, we know how much the NBA media loves Jokic. So if they
yeah,
got a chance to squeak another narrative in there, Jokic holding off the French
yeah.
phenom, I do think they're gonna do it. I don't think it'll take the 1 seed. I think if he can get to 50 wins, but the important thing is that if he's going to win MVP, I do think he has to win Defensive Player of the Year too. Like it has to be that kind of
100%.
level of impact
Mhm.
for him to get the MVP while being, like double digit wins under the
Yeah,
Thunder. But
Yeah,
it's definitely not out of the realm of
he's
possibility.
got to
He's
stay
at
healthy.
plus
He's got
400 right now.
he's got to
I think
stay
he'll
healthy too, because that's
not bad
he's
take.
been he's missed it. He's missed some games throughout his career early on. So I think if he plays 70 plus games, he's gonna have the numbers I think to win it. But he's got to stay on the court. I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, no,
For
I
sure.
think it's a
That's
good
a
take.
huge factor.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
if either of you had to bet the mortgage on it, are you taking Wemby or who are you taking for MVP right now?
Uh, if I had to bet the mortgage on it, I'd probably take SGA. Honestly, probably
I'm
take
gonna be
SGA.
honest. I'm gonna be honest.
That
It's
is the
hard.
safest bet.
It's
Yeah.
hard. He's the safest bet. It's hard to argue what he's already done. Did you have like a 50-point game already or something like that? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
Luca's.
he's
I'm not gonna lie. I still think Luca has a strong chance in LA. I'm big on the Luca train. I think LA Lakers have a good team to be a top 4 seed. I think
Yeah.
Luca. They want him to drive the bus. I'm not saying Luca's out of picture, but
That was.
I think SGA.
He
Wemby's.
only,
I
he
want
only
to say
drive it
Wemby.
every other day though. He only
Right.
drive it every other day though.
That's
yeah, he might not
wait.
even be the
Austin
best
Reeves
white
is
boy on the
playing.
team, bro. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the Austin Reeves year.
Woo.
The
Hey,
Yeah.
what they
Snowtime Lakers are
the
taking
snow
over.
time Lakers?
That's funny. It's no
Watch the
time
milk, bro.
Lakers.
Watch the milk, bro. If you got some milk in LA, bro, watch out, bro. The white boys is loose, bro.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Watch your milk, bro.
It's crazy.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Giannis, the Greek freak out there doing his thing. Everyone thought the Bucks would be hot ass, but he is literally
Yo, that
carrying that
fade,
team on his back.
that fade
Yeah,
game winner. I know
Nasty,
Giannis had
he's
that in his
nasty.
nasty.
bag.
Yo, Giannis gonna go on.
He's
This might be
nasty.
his little 2018 Bron little season, bro.
Yeah,
Could be.
For
the
real.
East is too weak
Honestly,
for them
people
to
were
be.
so low on the Bucks coming in that if he can even win like 45, 48 games, he's going to have a real shot, honestly.
I
I
think
think the
there's a
East is just too
rule
weak.
in basketball. It's a complex and beautiful game, of course, but it's a simple game at the end of the day. If you got the best player on the court, I feel like in a season of 82 games, you're gonna win at least 50, or at least
Yeah,
like two or three within 50. Like I feel like if you just have a season of that guy, the best player on the court, you're gonna win those
yeah,
games
yeah,
more often than not.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
for
I think the
sure.
East is too weak to support an MVP though. I think anybody, unless they were to do something record breaking, I don't think anybody in the East can win the MVP just because the East is so weak compared to the West. I mean, the
2018 Braun,
West,
bro. 2018 Braun is right there.
that was because Braun, it was Braun. That's
Yanni
different.
Yanni Anda, Yanni Anda. But
All
he was
right, that's
grabbing his
enough
nuts
about the
after the
woke
Grammy winner,
NBA,
bro.
though. Let's move on to some grown man sports. Let's talk about the NFL. We're at the
Yes,
halfway
sir.
point. We just crossed the trade deadline, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the moves that went down. Let's start with the
Wow.
hometown team, your Jacksonville Jaguars, bringing Jacoby Myers to Duval after giving them Bell in Sin City. How do y'all
Yeah.
feel about Jacoby Myers before
Go
I
ahead,
give
Bud.
my
Go ahead, Bud.
glaze?
Go ahead, Bud.
I mean, I don't really have much here. I'm gonna be honest with the casuals. I'm not a big Kobe Myers tape cruncher. So I don't know how much that elevates or the team or not. I know that does come, at a good time with the Travis Hunter injury, and maybe BTJ, if he still has dropitis, I don't know if he's still going through that. So maybe it's good for them there. I will say it's another weapon for Trevor Lawrence. He gets another toy to play with. So hopefully he can make the most of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. I mean, if anybody says they watched Jacoby Myers tape, they're lying. Let's be honest, and that's no disrespect to Jacoby Myers.
Andy might be crunching Jacoby Myers tape.
He might be, and it's no disrespect to Mr. Myers. I mean, he's been a big time receiver for a long time. He was number one in Vegas for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
I started him every now and then in fantasy when I was really down a receiver. So, respect to him. He's a solid receiver. My problem with the Jazz getting him is I don't see how he fills Travis Hunter's role. He's not a same player as Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a quick, short yardage, yard after catch player. Jacoby Myers is more of a possession catch, in my opinion. I think the matchup between Myers and BTJ is also a little weird because they're both possession players. They're both go get the ball. Well, BTJ was supposed to be, but this year he's not, but they're not short yardage. Like where's the guy on the Jaguars offense that is going to do what Hunter was doing, getting the screens, getting the short yardage, making a juke and making yardage out of it? They didn't replace that. I did hear Hunter is not supposed to be serious. It is supposed to be back in 3 weeks. So I think when Hunter's back, I like that. I like the two edges with Myers, BTJ, that's big receivers that get good possession catches. Then you put Hunter, let him play in between the lines. I like that. I think that will be a good offense until Hunter comes back, though. I don't like it, but overall, I think for the long term, it's a good move. It's a good move.
I think those are astute observations. I think
You in
the part
Jacksonville, right? Hold
that
on. You in Jacksonville, right? You recording this there? You okay,
Yeah.
bro? You okay, my man? You
Winville.
want to check your
It's,
blinds real quick, my boy? Like,
they
let's
can't hear
talk
me. I
about
kept
your
it. I
Jags,
kept
my
it low.
boy.
Man, I'm from the field. Come on now. We rep that. Come on now. But go ahead,
but yeah,
Wemby.
you
Let us
made a
know. Let
great
us
point
know.
about his role and his usage, and he's not going to replace what Travis Hunter did. I think the goal here is for him to replace what Liam Cohen was trying to get Brian Thomas Jr. to do, which is to
I like
be that rack guy in the middle of the field, catching short and exploding after the catch to
I like that.
run up the extra yardage. And that just wasn't Brian Thomas's game. And I think that's led to his struggles a lot. And I think bringing Jacoby in will free BTJ to be that downfield threat, like go route pretty much every single snap. Like just take the
I
top
like
off
that.
the defense, be there as an outlet for if nothing's open, just throw it up to him and see what he can do. I think Jacoby will take over the middle of the field there along with Parker Washington until Travis Hunter gets back. And then I think at that point, like the Jags went from having one of the shakiest cachet of weapons in the league to one of the deepest all of a sudden just from making that acquisition and kind of bumping everybody down a spot in
Check
the
that
in the
out then.
depth chart. Yeah, I do just want to point out a couple stats. I know we're not big on advanced analytics
Let's
and
hear it.
stuff,
Let's hear
but
it.
Let's go, baby.
Let's
Jacoby,
go.
Yeah, just casually though.
Jacoby
Just
Myers
casually
is
though.
yeah, yeah, just casual. These aren't difficult stats to understand. I think both of you will see why I'm so encouraged about this deal with these numbers. Jacoby Myers is coming into Duval with a drop percentage this season of 5.7%. Brian Thomas Jr. is at 18.9%, and De'Ami Brown is at
Ooh.
17.4%. And I think that is going to make
Ooh.
a huge difference. Trevor Lawrence hasn't had sure hands downfield that he can rely on, and
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers is dropping a third of the passes that two of the supposed top receivers for the Jags are.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
in career contested catch percentage, Jacoby Myers is at 61%, BTJ's at 41, De'Ami Brown's at 41. So we just
Mm,
added
mm.
a pretty elite playmaker who's not afraid to get into contact, go over the middle of the field, make his money on slant routes. I think that's going to be huge for T Law and Cohen's offense, personally.
Yeah. I think that's a
But
great take. Yeah.
Damn.
yeah, enough
Damn, my
enough
boy.
about the home team. I don't want to come off as too much of a homer. We'll see what he can do against the Texans on a short week here. But
Mm.
let's move on to one of our other home teams, King Boog, your New York Jets, Jets Jets, had a fire sale. They
They
got
sure did.
rid of Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner at the deadline. How are we
Yep.
feeling about these rebuilding moves they just made?
In memoriam for these Jets careers that were so way too short. I wore these sad kitties. This is my sad kitty shirt. I just it is the smart move probably to make. When you are 1-7. Is to probably sell high if you can, which I feel like the Jets did. So I'll give them some credit there. Two first round picks for Sauce Gardner. That's a nice haul.
Solid.
For a player who, while he is an all pro, and he is
Yeah.
definitely supremely talented and definitely still in the prime of his career and could very easily still be an all pro player in
Yeah.
in Indianapolis. uh, two first round picks, you get a chance to take two more shots in the draft. You're gonna have a high draft pick. You just, kind of ensure that you're gonna have a high draft pick by, selling off on some of the best players on your defense, which was already shoddy at best, and shitty at worst. So, it's a good move, and so long, my friends. Fly high.
I, I think that's a solid take. I like your take on it. Personally, obviously not a Jets fan, so I'm not trying to look on the positive side. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was a dumb move, and the reason why it's a dumb move is because if you're gonna do it, do it. Why did you keep Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall? If you're gonna trade while they're at their maximum value, why would you trade two of your young stars and not all of your young stars? And the people, yes, you got two first round picks. That's cool. Whoop de doo. The player you dream
We
of
got three.
picking with the first round, three for Williams and Sauce Gardner. Excuse me. The player you dream of picking in the first round is Sauce Gardner. The player you dream of picking in the first round is Quentin Williams. You telling me you gave yourself 3 opportunities to pick a player like what you gave up? 2 out of 3 are not going to compare to the players you gave up. Those players are still young. You can build around those guys. You kept them around. You could build around those two on defense, build around Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson on offense. But you gave up half of your young stars. Either go all in, give up Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, really stack it up to where in 4 years you'll be competitive, or continue building. I just
There,
don't get
there,
it. To
there,
me,
there is no building. I'll step in as a Jets fan. You're watching from afar, and I'll give you from your rose tinted glasses with your Seahawks gear on. As a great team, who just acquired Rashid Shaheed, to amass more weapons for your number one Seahawks. But as it being a Jets fan, there's no building. There's what are you building around? You have no quarterback. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing you need to be building around, and we don't have that. We have Justin
yeah,
Fields, who seems like a great guy, who will probably be a fantastic youth pastor after his, career in football is over. But there's
see,
there's not there's nothing to build around. We're 1-7 with all that talent. I mean, there's at a
I
certain
mean,
point you can't hold on to the chips. You got to cash them. And if you're looking at 3 first round picks plus your own, which is going to be pretty terrible, you just need to give as yourself as many shots on the board to get a
yeah,
quarterback as you can. And
yeah,
4 first round picks, you gotta you get something, you get some complementary pieces on the offensive line. They have 2 good offensive linemen already. You build around that so that way when you do get your quarterback, at least they're not getting beat to death like Justin Fields.
yeah, and I get that, but I think about it, obviously. I'm not gonna lie; these are rose tinted. But the Seahawks last year, we drafted offensive line, we drafted defensive line. We didn't draft quarterback. We signed a quarterback. We drafted everything that would help a quarterback, and then went to free agency.
We
Y'all
did
went.
that too, and we signed Justin Fields. That's what I'm telling. Hey,
Touche,
buddy, we
touche,
signed
touche,
Justin
touche,
Fields, buddy. You know he
touche,
had -10 yards in a game. Did you know that?
touche,
Yeah,
touche,
yeah. We tried that model, and we got Justin Fields. So no, you blow the whole fucking thing up, and you start over again.
touche.
Yeah. It is tougher to rebuild in the NFL than it is in the NBA. You just never know with the timing. You need a lot of pieces to hit at the same time. And in that sense, like reloading on draft picks kind of within the same span of each other does make sense. But it is tough to give up on a young star like Sauce. But at the same time, like as important as a cornerback can be, it's not like a foundational piece. And getting 2 first round picks from the Colts, I'm gonna give I'm gonna roast Canny a little bit here. Indy was scared. Indy was scared. That defense was fucking terrible. They had to go out and do something. Their cornerback one retired 2 weeks into the season because he was getting burned. So they went out, spent 2 first round picks to go all in on Daniel
Who
Jones.
first?
Let's see how that works out for them.
And one of those picks, I'm pretty sure, is Dallas's pick. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like one of those is the Colts pick and one of those is the Dallas pick, who we also traded with. So there's picks flying all over the place. I just just keep nabbing them, bro. First round picks in the NFL are that those are gold, Jim. That's gold loot, bro. That's that's
I'll
that's
give you
epic
that.
loot for my Fortnite niggas out there, bro.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. I'll agree to that. It was a good haul. If you were going to do it, they got good returns. I'm ready to talk about the, if you know what I mean. It's about time we
Yeah,
talk
talk
about
to us about
Rashid
Rashid Shaheed.
Shaheed, baby. Let me go ahead and go on my tangent. You hear me? Let me
Oh
sit up
Lord
for this
Jesus
one.
Christ. You already been talking about the Seahawks the whole time.
Oh man, let me tell you. At first, I'm gonna be honest. At first, I thought this doesn't tip any needles. I'm not too big of a fan. Then I looked into it. I really looked into it. I was like, let me actually, before I make my judgment, let me actually understand why we did this trade, how this could actually help us. I like it. Excuse me. I love it. Absolutely love it. He gives us a deep ball threat outside of JSN that is unbelievable. Shaheed, what he has been able to do as the two guy to Chris Olave, he has been fantastic being Robin to the Batman of Olave. He's going to be fantastic being Robin to the Batman of JSN. He already knows how to play this number two receiver. He brings a downfield threat that is elite. Like, let's be honest, he was elite with the Saints going downfield with, I don't even know who his quarterbacks were. Like he's brings something to this Seattle Seahawks offense that Cooper Kupp was not giving us. We wanted him to give us, but he couldn't. He's too old. He doesn't have that explosiveness. He gives us something that we now have and can trust in a game with 2 minutes left. Shaheed, go deep. We're hitting him. He gives an unbelievable amount of strength to our offense with just adding him. It's going to help JSN, whose safeties have been now shadowing JSN more often. Well, now you got Shaheed on the other side of the field that will go deep on you. I love it. I love it. I love John Snyder, man. That guy needs to write a book. I would read it. I swear to you. He probably has written a book, but I'm just saying that guy is a genius.
It sounds like you would do a lot more than read a book, nigga.
Hey, I'm a married man. I'm a married man. I love my wife. I love my wife. But she would understand, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. She would understand.
Jimmy D's been
Have to.
one of the
Hard
best
pass.
deep passers in the league this year, and they went out and got him an elite target down the field.
I love it.
As a JSN fantasy owner, I was pretty sad to see the deal made. I am hoping it opens up more opportunities for him. I do think having a field stretcher like that, someone who can really take the top off of the defense, will have a massive impact on the run game, though. Seattle's run game has been pretty atrocious this year, despite how good their passing game has been. Defenses just haven't been afraid to load up against the run, but now they
Yeah.
have a new threat to worry about. And like you said,
No,
get Cooper Cup's geriatric ass out of there. You got JSN, Shaheed, and Torrey Horton
I love
lining
Tori.
up like that. You're not going to be able to stack the boxes.
No. No, and I think that's a great point you bring up is our run game has been so atrocious, and this is a huge step in opening up the run game because they've been shadowing JSN and stacking the box. So that's another point. It opens up the run game. You're going to see Kenneth Walker actually get into the end zone. You're going to see even Charbonnet. He's really been mainly just a goal line runner for us. He's going to open up, man. I tell you, let me let Boog intercept me before I continue on my
I
Seahawks.
I don't really want to keep talking about this, honestly. This is why I work like the you two guys are like making moves, and then like this is like my sad little kitty just like selling all my good players, and you guys are like adding good players, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, that sounds really fun. Like to have a good team and just add good weapons. Sounds really fun. I hope
Duval
I have
Duval
that one day.
loves the Chicago kid. We'll welcome you at any time. Get your tickets for the parade. We'll see you. We'll see you on Main Street.
I'll see you there, Jacoby Myers.
Let's hear this. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about the Cowboys. How do you feel about the Cowboys giving up Michael Parsons and then turning around and saying, you know what, we kind of want a defensive lineman. Let's get Quentin Williams. What do you guys feel about that one?
Uh,
I'd love to hear what we talk about, Jerry.
I am all in favor of trading with the Cowboys, especially as Jerry Jones is calling the shots because he's like 100,000 years old, and he's just like I feel like he's just doing stuff, and you know I feel like trading an All Pro player in the conference and then going out and getting two more. I mean, getting Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark is, I mean, it's pretty hilarious. So I'll take picks from Jerry Jones as if I can get them. You know, they have a tie. Like the Cowboys are the Cowboys. They're gonna just flame out in some embarrassing way. So I'll take that. I love it, honestly.
Not to be a Cowboys apologist because they got plenty of those already. I mean the Micah Parsons return at first glance wasn't very good, but I actually think getting Quinton Williams for one of those first they got back does help. I think getting two strong defensive linemen who are cost controlled and signed for 2 years, as opposed to Micah Parsons, who had a great chance to leave in free agency, and they still have one additional first. I think getting a better return up front for Micah would have looked a lot
I,
better for
yeah.
sure, but I'm not not too mad at it. I don't know about this season. It looks like they might be lost now. As good as Dak Prescott is, that defense has much more problems than an interior defensive lineman can fix on his own. But I mean, the offense looks great. So if they can really go
They
out
just,
in this next offseason and build on that defense, I think it won't look too bad.
I mean,
I like that.
for a long term move, it's probably good, but like you said, their defense has. I mean, they just got cooked by Jacoby Brissett. Like your defense got some problem.
Yeah.
Like you got folded, but they Jacoby Brissett played so well in that game. Like they just were like, "Hey man, you just be the
Yeah.
starter for the rest of the season." Like that's how bad
Yeah,
your
Kyler,
defense
you're
is.
out for the next 4 weeks.
It got a man fired on his day off. Like
Yeah, it got him, man.
like
It did.
Jacoby been hooping though. We got to give him some
but their
props.
corners doing the slip and slide, bro. Come on, man. Marvin
All
Harrison
right.
career highs in one quarter.
Bug, I think you might need to defend yourself a little bit here because going back to our week 9 spread picks, the consensus went 7-6, and
Yeah,
for a
man.
bunch of casuals in upset week, that's not too bad. That is not too
That's
bad. But
yeah.
Benjamin, you were our contrarian,
I
and
was.
you ended up with an individual record of 3-10. So
I
let's
was.
talk about what happened.
Listen,
These are
And
my these are my 3 wins. You know what I'm saying? These are my 3 wins. My solo 3 wins. Hey, shoot or shoot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just gotta put some shots up and see which ones go in. I was taking some shots on the board. I got robbed on some picks. The Bengals defense is generationally terrible. That costed me a win. That was pretty horrendous how they lost and didn't cover. Betting on Tua Tagovailoa, Tua Tagovailoa, however you want to call him. That was a bold pick as well. Uh, but man, shoot or shoot, and I got 3 of them in. Like Steph, I'm gonna get 3 at some point. So I'm
okay.
gonna keep shooting. Y'all
yes,
boys keep
sir.
rock. Y'all boys keep riding with me though.
That's the way to take it. That's the way to take it.
Yeah, like Dion
I
Waiter
guess.
said, you'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9.
You know what I'm saying? I got
Just
three.
keep
I got
keep
three
slinging it.
games on the board, my boy.
Andy, how'd you do? You went
On the
7 and
other
6, right?
hand, consensus was 7-6. I went with the consensus the whole time. So 6, you come out looking real pretty. 8-5. You faded us on one pick and you nailed it. Go ahead and take your victory lap on JJ McCarthy and the Vikes.
I tried telling y'all. I tried them divisional matchups, man. The divisional games. There's always something in the water. There's always something in the water. Shout out to JJ.
To JJ.
To JJ.
Shout out to JJ. He JJ was the big winner. I feel like Sunday, at least one of the big winners. What was the 8.5 point dog
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
Yep,
road.
eight and a half
On
points.
It was a
eight and a
big
half point dog.
spread.
First game back. Another cash to Justin Jefferson touchdown. So he
First
came
drive.
back first drive, and you knew what type of time it was. It was like, oh, JJ's on that type of time. So
Yeah.
shout out to JJ and the Vikes, man. That's a huge
Shout out JJ.
cover and
It's,
win. Huge cover and win.
I think it also goes to show, like, you know, the NFC North is like we talk about the NFC West. I mean, people have been talking about the AFC West, but we're forgetting the NFC North, in my opinion, is still the best division in football. Like all
Mhm.
4 of those teams were solid teams. The Vikings, they get the short end of the stick. They're a playoff team if they're not playing the Lions twice a year and the Packers twice a year. But hey, they just beat the Lions. Like the
On the
thing
road.
is on the road, and so I think it goes to show the Vikings are a better team than people think. Kevin O'Connell is a good coach, but no, I think that team showed JJ McCarthy is the quarterback they want, and that was the difference maker. Is that team wanted to win that game? When they played the Chargers, they didn't want to win that game. They didn't care for Carson Wentz. It seemed like. I think that divisional matchup and their quarterback being back was huge. I don't think they're winning this week against Lamar, but we'll cover that later.
Hey, save that. Save that. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes, sir.
All right, enough about the past. Let's move on to week 10. We're going to go through the spread picks again. Our first game on the docket is what would be tonight's game once the episode releases. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders without Jacoby Myers traveling to Colorado to take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are favored by 8.5.6. How do you feel about that line?
I think when these lines are above a touchdown, they make me weary. I'm going to be honest. I don't care who the teams are, but being above 7 points always makes me weary. And we were just talking about divisional games being close. I mean, divisional games are typically where you see the best out of the teams. Not to mention, this is a short week because it's a Thursday night football. So the teams haven't had much time to recover. The teams haven't had much time to prepare. I think obviously the Broncos are going to win, but I don't think by more than 8.5. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Raiders cover the spread. Yeah, the Broncos win, but not by more than 8.5. Raiders cover the spread.
Bug, how do you feel?
8.5. I feel like Vegas is really tempting us here. Uh, the Broncos 7-2 at home. It is a short week, but I just betting on Geno Smith. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can go for that. Especially when they just traded a receiver. They're clearly selling on the season. I don't. Tanking in the NFL isn't really possible. These guys play too hard. But going into Mile High, a weapon down. I just don't know if I can roll with the Raiders
Yeah.
here. I think I'll take it. I think I'll take the Broncos at 8.5.
My thing is
All right.
Geno's not who I'm betting on. I'm betting on those young players who have not learned the NFL ways. They're not ready to throw in towels. You got Brock Bowers, who I don't know if you guys saw him last week. I know you did, Andy. But that dude went
Or our
crazy.
shit up, bro.
He went crazy. He
Did his
might be
best
the best.
AJ Barner impression.
He might be exactly. He might be the best tight end in the game when he's healthy as of right now. Not to mention, Genty can pop off at any. I mean, pop off at any time. I'm just saying, Geno's not the one I'm counting on. I'm counting on those young bucks on that team that are dogs.
This is and that's
Yeah.
a great point. The young boys are dogs. They dogs. They got that dog in them. But I look at it from a standpoint. This is yes, Brock Bowers went crazy last week. If you had him on your fantasy bench, like somebody we know, that's a tough look. But you
On
know,
your bench.
it's 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 the defense for me. I mean, this Broncos defense, shout out to Andy and the Jags, shout out to my Duval Jags. This Broncos defense is not the Jags defense, and I feel like at home, Sean Payton is not going to get caught slipping by Geno Smith and some young fellas. So I'm gonna roll with the Broncos. You make some excellent points though, Six Guy, and you
You
and
think
you are
they
hot as
cover the
fish grease.
8.5?
That's what I'm saying about Vegas. That backdoor cover is tough, but I feel like if Sean Payton's gonna get up 2 touchdowns, I feel like it's gonna stay 2 touchdowns.
Heard that. Andy, hop on the Geno
Well,
train. We know you love it. We know you on the Geno train.
yes, sir. Yeah, we're about to have our first split in casuals history because while Canny couldn't be here, he did send us his picks so you guys could get them too. And Canny did side with the Broncos to cover, but everyone was looking at that Jags game as kind of the Jags getting a very underwhelming and like barely escaping with the win. And of course they did barely escape, but it's not because they like severely underperformed. I think the Raiders came out of the bye with a new identity.
Yeah.
Geno Smith
Yeah.
stopped, holding on to the ball and trying to make these hero throws deep like he's been doing all season. He took what was available to him short. They just kept dinking and dunking. They ran the ball with Gentee more. They had Gentee sit in the flat on pretty much every single play. And if Gino didn't see something he liked, he'd just dump it off to Gentee and let him make a play in space. And that worked beautifully for them. I think this is a new identity for them. I think the defense has been playing encouragingly well. And I don't think the Broncos with the Bo Nix, are going to have enough to cover this spread. I don't think the Raiders are going to win. I wouldn't put that on wax, but I do think 8.5 is a large spread, and I think the Raiders do get it done. So that gives us our first split. Me and Six siding with the Raiders and the points. The shy guys, King Bug and Canny, are going with the Broncos to cover. And that brings us to our next game, which is going to be Falcons going up to take on Canny's Colts. The Colts are favored by 6.5 points. Bug, how do you feel about your roommate's team, the Indianapolis Colts, taking a tough
Uh,
loss and then trading trading for
Folding your
sauce?
lock. Folded your
Do
lock.
you think the sauce is going to help?
the sauce could help. I don't know what the and I don't want to speak on any kind of situations here. I don't want to break any news or anything, but I don't know what the lady situation is like in this game in Ireland. Where is this game at?
It's
Where
in
is
Berlin, I
Germany.
believe.
Yeah,
Berlin?
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Berlin.
Oh, okay. I've heard that's a good time. So he might get lost in the sauce. So that might be working against him if his first game in Germany. That might be a tough one. So I'm gonna leave that there. But nah, I think the Colts burned me last week. Honestly, I was in on them. I was in on them heavy. I thought they would win against the Steelers. I thought they would cover against the Steelers, but Daniel Jones outdoors did not look great, on a weird
No.
field, wet, soggy field, weird Pittsburgh weather. They did not look great. Offense stalled out, and to ride with them again, I think would be a little bit lunacy. So I'm gonna take the Falcons at 6.5. I like a Bijan comeback game. I don't think maybe they can win, but I think they can keep it close. And to take Daniel Jones coming off a stinker like that, then going overseas, I think I'm gonna take the Falcons 6.5 here.
I think that's a great
Six? How
take,
you feel?
honestly. And I'm gonna be honest. It's hard for me to not take the Falcons 6.5 as well, because I mean I looked at the Falcons games, and they're just so wishy washy. Like they just lost to the Patriots by one last week, who I think the
Mhm.
Patriots are a quality team, but they also
Mhm.
lost to the Panthers by 30. You know what I mean, 30-0 to be exact. So it's like they're a weird team to judge, and I like what they have on their team. Michael Penix should be playing. And when it's an early morning game overseas, especially so far away, teams don't typically get there till the day before, or even the day of. Probably won't get their
Mhm.
day of because it is a 9:30 game, but they'll probably won't get until Saturday night. And because of that, teams are not used. There's jet lag. This is a new field. This is not a home game for them, and it's different. They can get caught up in being out of the country. I think it's hard for you to see teams at their best. With that said, the Colts got mollywopped last week. They got mollywopped. You hear me? And the Falcons are a team that's been mollywopped and shown they don't care to come back. They've shown that they've gotten their butts whipped and they did not come back. I will say after the Panthers 39 loss, they did come back, beat the Commanders, but I think the Commanders have been a very good team this year. The Falcons also lost to the Dolphins by a lot. I'm sorry, it's just hard for me to trust a team like that when the Colts have been doing it all year long and had one bad week. The Falcons have not been doing it all season long. So going to an uncomfortable spot for both teams, I don't see the Falcons overcoming adversity. I see the Colts bouncing back. I think they still have one of the best offensive lines. I think adding Sauce Gardner is nice. He will get beat by Drake London one or two times. He's not used to a playbook for the defense yet. They're probably going to put him on the Falcons' best receiver. So I do think Drake London is a stardom in fantasy. I think he's going to have a great week in fantasy. But I think the Colts are going to win by more than a touchdown.
I
All right.
just,
Well, looks like
quick aside, just
go ahead.
Falcons as the underdog. I love Falcons as a favorite. I don't love Vegas. When they put the Falcons as an underdog, they seem to cover. So that's the only reason. I don't really believe in this team. I don't really believe in Michael Penix. So it's not really that. I'm just taking the points here in a
Yeah,
in
the
a foreign
Falcons play
game
down
in
to
a
their
neutral field.
competition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they don't have to worry about that this week around. Looks like it's split week for the casuals because I am also siding with the Falcons and the points here. I've
What?
been known that the Colts were fake. I should have went out on the limb and called it last week. They haven't
Yep.
played anybody real. They've played three real defenses this year. They lost
Mm,
two of them. They should have lost a third one if it wasn't for a bullshit leverage call against the Broncos.
That's true.
mm.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
Colts are fake, and I think the Steelers just gave the blueprint on how to beat them. They loaded up against the run, took JT out of the game, and then they took the short passing game away from Daniel Jones, and they forced him into 5 turnovers. If you can get pressure on Daniel Jones, he's still a bad quarterback. As much as
Mm.
Shane Steichen and the weapons make him look good, I'm not buying into this. Daniel Jones is suddenly elite. I think he's a capable quarterback. He's got tools, but how many times is he going to be able to beat you deep? Like Alec Pierce is a great deep threat, but if you're forcing Daniel Jones to throw 5, 6, 7 deep balls to beat you, how many of those are going to hit and how many of those are going to go the other way? So I'm
Yeah.
siding with the Falcons here. I
Mm,
don't believe in the
mm,
Colts, and I think the
mm.
I'll,
Jags are going to
I'll,
make some moves in the
Oh,
AFC South this week.
boy, it's
you know,
Homer week. What
I'll,
is it?
I'll say,
Homer week? It's Homer week on the pod.
I'll say this: when I look at the Colts schedule, they have the Falcons this week, then they have the Chiefs, then they have Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, Niners, Jaguars, Texans. So when I look at their schedules, divisional games are always tough. Then you have Falcons, Chiefs, Seahawks, Niners, Chiefs, or you don't know if you're gonna win those games. So I think when they look at their schedule, I think they know this is their last game where this is a must-win game for the Colts. Almost. This is the last game where they
Must
will be
win.
favorites. So this might be a must-win because after this game, that schedule gets tough, and I guarantee you they see the same thing.
You think this is the last game they're favorites?
I mean, they play the
Definitely not the
divisional
last game
games.
they're
They'll
favorites,
probably be
but
favorites against the Texans and the Jags, but
They'll have
divisional
to be
games
favorites
are
against
not.
the Jags. They have to
Yeah, but
be.
that's a divisional game. You don't look
yeah.
at a divisional game and be like, "Oh, that's just some scrub." Nah, especially with the history between this whole AFC South division. There's been no team that's dominated the division in history. They always have, even when the team is 1-15, like the Jaguars are. That one win is against either the Colts, Texans, or Titans.
As the divisional
Yeah,
third
they've
eye
taken
whisperer,
advantage of a
bro.
cupcake schedule, and it's about
They
to get
have,
real for them.
they have,
It's
and I
about to
think
get
they know
real for
that.
Daniel Jones. There's a reason they just traded 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner. They're reeling. They're scared. But
They're
let's
really
move on. Let's move on to the Jags. I
Canny. I
just had
tried,
to
my
check
boy.
this line again because I could not believe my eyes. The Jags are not favored against the Texans. They're giving them 1.5 points on the spread on the road. And CJ Stroud just got ruled out of this game with a concussion. The Jags
Yeah.
already beat the Texans by 7 points. And now they're playing Davis Mills and
Davis.
they're giving them one and a
Davis.
half points on the spread.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Go ahead,
anyone
Andy. Let's hear
needs to hear my pick. Obviously, I'm rolling with the Jags here.
it.
I think the defense is going to force at least one turnover. And as good as the Texans' defense is, if Davis Mills is having to punt every three, every series or two, the Jags are going to do enough with that many chances to win this game by a pretty comfortable margin, I think.
Yeah, I'll jump in and say, I think that I'm not gonna lie. When CJ Stroud got ruled out, the fact that the Jaguars did not get this is crazy to me. The fact that there's an extra point and a half for the Jaguars is crazy to me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that's Jack's Duval boy coming out 904. I don't know. I feel like I've never been biased to the Jags before. I've been pretty hard on the Jags, but no, I mean the
You
Texans
definitely
defense.
were like 15 minutes earlier. You was roasting their ass.
No, the Texans defense is legit. I think the Texans defense is better than the Jaguars defense. I think when you put the four, it's like Texans defense, Jaguars offense, but the Texans offense is just like really low with Davis Mills. I think losing C.J. Stroud really hurts an already weak offensive line, already weak run game. A hurt offense without their quarterback is going to be just really bad. The Jaguars should have this game. No problem. I think Myers might even have a solid game. No, I don't think so. I think the Jaguars offense will also not be very good because the Texans defense is legit. But I think because the Jaguars win the turnover battle, they win the game. Go ahead, Book. Let's hear it.
Bug.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
Man,
it.
you guys
Pre
put me. I don't like being last here. You guys put me in a tough spot. I just and the Texans they got me last week. Against the Broncos. I wasn't a believer. Uh,
Haha.
but man, I mean, this Texans defense is so good, man. Like they just they
Don't
stop a
do it.
team from doing what they do best. I know that
Don't do it.
you were
He's
incredulous
gonna
that the
do it.
Jaguars are underdogs. Brother, I love Jacksonville. I love
He's
Duval.
doing
I
it.
love the Jags.
Don't
We're
fucking
talking
do
about
it, man.
turnover battles and Trevor Lawrence winning a turnover battle. You have a lot of faith in Trevor Lawrence that I don't have against a good defense on the road. I know the Texans got me last week. I gotta go with the Texans,
I don't
man.
hate that
Like
take.
it's a point and a half. It's a field goal game. Like it should be a field goal game. I know
Yeah.
there in your mind's eye, in the true heart of your hearts, the discrepancy between Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence should carry the Jags easily to this game. It's never that easy with the Jags. I lived in Jacksonville long enough. The game
It
you
never
expect
is.
them
It
to
really
win and
isn't.
cover is the game that they lose.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes. I don't wish this on them at all. I have to go with a field goal game. I have to get the better defense at home. I'm taking the Texans.
They already lost to one backup
Well,
quarterback earlier in the season,
And
Mr.
the
Browning.
Jags have a reputation for losing to backup
They
quarterbacks.
do. They do. They do. They
it's a new
100% do.
era. It's a Cohen era.
It's-
Cohen wasn't
I
prepared for
know.
Joe Burrow to come out of that game.
I
Okay,
That's
Jake
what
know.
it was.
Browning.
That's
I
what it
know.
Jake
was.
Browning was on the fucking smelling salts. My boy playing out of his mind.
Davis
But
neck
that's all right. That's all right.
Davis Mills neck might be, what I'm saying? Like that might carry them to victory, bro. He might be able to like see over the top of the
That
defense,
boy do
bro.
got a
Like
long neck.
But that gives us our first fade of the week. As we know, King Bug went 3-10 last week,
I
trying to
did
fade the casuals.
I
Go
did
ahead and
I
mark
did
this
He
one
threw a
down as
shot
an
at it.
L.
He threw
Hey,
shots.
look, I'm here. Book trading is here. Y'all ride with me, bro. Ride with me, bro. I'm gonna make at least three. You know I'm gonna make at least three. So rock
Oh,
with
that's
me.
funny.
All right, all right. Here, we won't give you the chance to wait and fade to be the contrarian. You're gonna open up our next game with your New York Giants taking on the
Hmm.
Chicago Bears in your backyard.
I
The
know.
the Bears are favored by
The
4.5 there.
Mm.
What are you
The
feeling? What
Bears.
are you feeling?
Man, I just, something about being in the city that I don't like going against these teams, but you know, my boy Jackson Dart, they didn't cover, I don't think, last week against the Niners. I don't think that I don't trust the Bears enough to be favored by more than a field goal. Even at home, I don't think their
Yeah.
defense is that good, and I think that the Giants depleted with weapons. Jackson Dart is making plays. He's making enough plays to keep them in these games, and I feel like that's an extra point and a half, maybe point that I'm getting there. So I'm a roll with the big blue, man. I'm taking the plus 4.5.
Bold, 6.
Ah, man. I want to agree with you. I do. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to agree with you, but the
It
only thing
was
that's
it was in
stopping
the
me
running
is
for one of my locks. It was in the running for one of my locks. I'm not gonna lie. Joe Flacco ripped the Bears defense apart, man. Like he's
he
forty
did.
thousand years old.
He did. He ripped their defense
He
apart,
ripped
man.
them
And the
apart.
week before, they got ripped apart by the backup quarterback for the Ravens. Let's not forget about
Hmm.
that. I mean,
Hmm.
and four and a
Snoop
half.
Huntley.
Yeah,
Snoop,
even if I
Snoop.
think the Bears win, I'm gonna be honest. I think the Bears win, but I think they only win by like 2 points, maybe a field goal. I don't see them winning by more than a field goal. I like Jackson. That dude's That dude Jackson Dart is a playmaker on the ground, through the air. He's playing with Wandale Robinson, who has not been much his whole career. No offense to Wandale Robinson, but like he's having one of the best seasons of his career with a rookie quarterback. And I think what we're seeing Dark do in New York is special. I think New York Giants still suck. Don't get me wrong, but I think that but
Yeah,
the
they
Bears
suck.
defense is also really bad. So that's the thing. So
Yes.
I think that is I think the Giants cover the spread. I'm going Big Blue. I
Hey,
think the
let's go,
Bears pull
baby.
it out by
All
less than a
right.
field goal. Going Big
Let's
Blue.
go, baby. Let's go.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Booger. I'm
Come
with you.
on, come on. Let's
You're
ride.
not
Let's
alone.
ride.
You are not alone.
Well, looks like we have
I
another split then this week. Canny sided with his hometown Bears, and I am as well. The Bears
ugh.
defense is paper mache. They're not good, but the one thing they do very well is force turnovers. And as encouraged as I have been by Jackson Dart's play, he's good for 2 or 3 dumbass plays a game. I think that's going to burn
Yeah.
them. And I think as tough as the Giants defense is, that pass rush is elite, but that run defense is putrid. And I think Ben Johnson's going to be well aware of that and keep on trucking with his run game. DeAndre Swift looks good. Caleb can tuck the
Yeah.
ball and run. So I think that'll make the difference. And 4.5 is a tough spread. I wish it was 3.5, but I'm siding with the Bears in this one. And
Mhm.
that brings us to our next game. We have the surging Baltimore Ravens taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The
Yeah.
Vikings are the underdogs in this one, given 4.5 points. Six. Who are you siding with?
Yeah, I'm taking. I told you guys earlier. I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson just said earlier how he's feeling healthy. He's feeling ready to go. He's feeling. I mean, he's. I mean, I have been open on Lamar Jackson. I think healthy. If everybody's healthy, he's the best quarterback in the league. Patrick Mahomes and all. Lamar Jackson. Everybody healthy. Lamar Jackson has the most skill in the game. He's been in the league long enough to where his mental is up to par with legends. Lamar Jackson, if everybody is healthy, is the best player in the NFL. He's healthy.
Wow.
He is healthy now. He is ready to take this Ravens team that everybody thought was this is their year. This is the year. And I know everyone says this is the Ravens year for like last 4 years, but that's for a reason. The Ravens are a good football team when healthy. They have a great coach who might even be a legendary coach. I think that these Ravens will make the playoffs. I think they're going to start a run of just win after win after win after win. Lamar Jackson is going to show why he is Lamar Jackson. The Vikings team, I mean, last week I was big on them. They were getting their guy back, JJ McCarthy. He was getting healthy. They're in a divisional matchup. They got their butts handed to them by the Chargers. I mean, they got their ass kicked by the Chargers. You know what I mean? So I think when they were coming into that Lions game, they had a lot of momentum. They had a lot of energy. They were ready to go into that game. I don't think there's that same build up for a Ravens game. It's not divisional. It is nothing special. We got JJ back. We're riding a high now of a good offense. I'm not saying that you might not see another Jettas touchdown and Jettas might not have another good game, but you are going to see a Ravens win. And I don't even care what the spread is. Ravens are covering.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that. I love your enthusiasm, Six. I echo your Lamar Jackson sentiment 1,000 times out of 1,000. He's back. If he's healthy,
He's
he's the
back.
best player on the field. And the Ravens, in this spot here, I think I love him here at 4.5 as well. I don't want to reveal, a segment too soon. I love him here at 4.5. I'm gonna take him as well. I think the Vikings, they got up big for a divisional game on the road. Not to say that you don't get, teams prepare in the NFL like they would any game every week. I know that the
Right, right,
preparation is
right.
the same, but you look at their schedule, they have Baltimore, then they have Chicago, Green Bay, Seattle, Washington. I mean, they have all NFC games, all conference games. If there's ever one to drop, it's probably this one. I'm gonna take the Ravens because when the Vikings lose, they lose big, and I like Lamar Jackson under a touchdown here. I'm gonna take the Ravens as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's a smart take. That's all I'm saying.
They need to win. The
They
Ravens
need
need
it.
they need to win every single game that they have left on their schedule.
They're 3-5. They're
Yeah.
3-5. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, this is desperation mode times 1,000. So I'm taking the Ravens by a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They have their backs against the wall here,
Yeah.
and this is one of the few tough-ish matchups they have left on the schedule. So I think they will be locked in for this one. I think the spread here and a lot of people in general are kind of underrating the Ravens defense because they got eviscerated in the opener by the Bills and then they were
They've been
absolutely
pretty bad.
ravaged by injuries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're
100%.
getting healthy now and they're getting back on track. They absolutely dominated the Dolphins. Kyle Hamilton is still a beast.
Yeah.
Nate Wiggins
Yeah.
is still a beast. There's
Yep.
still some injuries to worry about with the defensive line, but I think they have enough, especially to cover this 4.5 point spread against
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy. And that gives the casuals first sweep of the week because Canny also
Hey,
sided with the
Let's
Ravens in
go.
this
Come
one.
on.
Lamar's back, baby.
Come on.
He's back.
This
Casuals.
next
Oh.
game, this next game's a tough one. We've got it's the doo-doo bowl of the week for sure. We got the Cleveland Browns going on the road to take on the Jets, and the Browns
That
are
is the
actually
doodle
favored
ball.
in this one by 2.5 points. Bug, why don't you open up for us for your Jets here?
You know, the fire sale, we talked about it earlier. Like the Jets, like I said, can't tank in the NFL. These guys are trying to win, but if there's ever a team signifying they're trying to lose, it is the New York Jets. I think 2.5 points. This Browns defense is gonna maul us. Miles Garrett against this offensive line, while we do have good tackles, maybe they can hold up, but one being a rookie, I don't like that matchup a lot.
Nope.
Miles Garrett already has a game with 5 sacks, and
Yeah.
Justin Fields standing there staring down. I can already see
Nope.
that in my head. It's not gonna go well. I'm taking the dog pound here. I'm going with the
Yeah.
2.5. This is gonna be gross. This is gonna be
Yeah.
gross. It's gonna be
I,
gross.
I'm gonna echo that. It's going to I think the fact that this line is only 2.5 is crazy. I'm gonna be honest. I
It's
think that's
crazy.
crazy. The Browns are not a good football team, don't get me wrong, but
No.
I mean the Jets are piss poor. You know what I mean? And not only they piss poor, but they gave away the only money they had in defense and the only things they had on their defensive side. I mean Justin Fields, we saw it earlier in the season when he got sacked 9 times in that game. He holds the ball longer than almost any other quarterback in the league, doesn't make quick decisions with the ball. They don't draw up plays for him to make quick decisions either. So it's not all on Fields. I think the play calling has some in touch to do with it. Brees Hall is not going to get started because the Browns defense is disgusting. Brees Hall won't be able to get going. When Brees Hall doesn't get going, it's not going to open up anything for Fields. Miles Garrett might set a new franchise record of 6 sacks. Let's be real. I mean, the Miles Garrett might outscore the Jets on scoop and score more than the Jets will score. I don't think the Jets are going to have a touchdown in this game. 2.5, a field goal is insane. Unless the only point is a safety, I think the Browns are easily beating them by more than 2.5 points. They're easily winning by at least a field goal. Browns are covering that spread. And not to do the Jets too much, but they fucking suck.
The only thing that scares me as a lifelong Jets fan, and yes, they do fucking suck. Uh, the only thing that scares me is that they need to lose as many games as they can. And this game against the Browns, where they're like jostling for top position in the draft, this does scare
Yeah.
me, as this is the kind of game that the Jets would win. The one game that they probably
Yeah.
shouldn't, which will end up being the tiebreaker down the line
Most
that
Jets
costs
thing.
us
Yeah.
between the second pick and the seventh pick.
7.
So that's the only thing that scares me really is
That's a
just
good
that
point.
dark cloud of all the history of the Jets doing the worst thing possible to me. But
Yeah.
I think here this defense is too good to
It's a good defense.
for Justin Fields to cover here.
And Dunkins might run over the Jets.
They might just,
Yeah,
yeah.
Judkins is supposed to be back in this one. I mean, come on, this game could be a coming out party for Dylan Gabriel. Honestly, they might as
Ooh.
well throw Shadur Sanders out
Ooh.
there and let him
Hey, hey, now
start
we're
off his
talking.
career with a
Now we're
fucking bang.
talking.
I
Now we're
mean, we've
talking.
seen this Jets defense get absolutely torched every single
Yeah,
week, and now they're gonna play their first game without their two best defensive players this season. 2.5 points is way too low.
way too
My
low.
Justin Fields had -10 net passing yards against the Steelers, and now we have to see what he can do against Myles Garrett. Honestly,
Good.
if the Browns don't even play offense in this game, I think they might be.
They'll
They
win.
could just point and they probably win with like 3 safeties and a
A
scoop and
scoop and
score.
score or pick a six.
And just like, the Jets score a touchdown, they score a 2-point conversion and run that back. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be nasty. Like parental advisory. Like hide the kids, like this is gonna
Had
be
to get
nasty.
life.
This should be on all the websites you're not allowed to watch. Like scrub your search history after you watch this game. Like it's gonna be gross. It's gonna be
Man,
nasty.
yeah, I was just looking at what we got next. The next game is just as bad. Like the next game, who wants to watch the Saints and the Panthers? Who wants to watch that? That's no, put your hand
Apparently,
down.
Canny does. I'll go
Okay.
ahead and spoil the pick for Canny. He went with the Saints +5.5 here, and y'all will see later on that for our lottery parlay, he picked the Saints money line. I don't know if we're gonna be tailing that this week, but yeah. So obviously, Canny is siding
He's a
with the
mother
Saints
shucker.
on the spread
He's a
here.
mother shucker
He's a
now.
mother sucker. Oh my god,
He's a
yes.
mother sucker.
What?
But
Gosh.
the Panthers are favored by 5.5 here. How do y'all feel
What?
about the spread?
This
Think
man
you want to
Kenny.
take this one?
This man Kenny. I'm just trying to make sure I understood what you just said. He took the Saints money line. I'm
He felt bold for a lotto parlay, and he took the Saints money line. I don't know if he told you, Ben, in the comfort of his own home, what he was thinking before he got off that plane. I don't know if he had a few too many airport beers before the
look.
flight, but
I'll start us off, man. I like the Panthers team. I've been a Bryce Young fan. You guys are well aware of. I've always been a Bryce Young fan. I've always said
Yeah,
he will
yeah.
turn it around eventually. I've said I've seen flashes. I've seen plays that I like of his. I do believe he will eventually turn around, and I like the direction the Panthers are going. Ben with the free agency pickup of the year and Mr. Rico Dowdle. He's a great running back. Chuba Hubbard's a great running back as well, but Rico has been on a tear. They just won last week against a good Packers team. I think the Packers are overrated, but that's another conversation. But that's still a quality win. That's still a quality win. I mean, we have seen the Panthers with quality wins throughout the whole season. They beat the Cowboys earlier in a shootout. We've seen the Panthers team show flashes of being good. I don't think they're a good team yet, but they are a dark horse good team. I think that putting them up against a Saints that just got rid of Shaheed are in an obvious tank mode, have no quarterback in play, and they're probably honestly trying to tank for a quarterback if we're being real, because this next draft class is pretty solid with quarterbacks from what I've heard. I think the Panthers are easily winning by at least 5 points. They're probably going to win by 10 points, in my opinion. I think this won't be close. The Panthers are a hungry, young team that once they find the end zone, they're going to keep on going for it. It's like a crack fiend. Once they get that little sniff of crack, it's over. The Panthers are going to run it up. They're going to run it up. Let me hear it. What do you think, Booger? Let me hear it, Booger.
I
Was the crack one a little too far?
that was crazy. That was crazy.
Sorry, Duval,
Uh,
Duval, baby. You know what it is.
Duval. Hey, look,
Duval.
I think the Panthers as a 5.5 point favorite is Vegas like staring you down like, yeah, do it, like
Dang it.
do it. You know
Dang
you
it.
want to. I think this might be maybe the second game, maybe the whole season they've been favored in a game. Uh, you know, the divisional juju, Mr. Six God, you did scare me off of that. You did scare me with that. I did go into this game thinking about that, but when the Saints went fire sale as well, I think I'm gonna go with the Panthers as well. I think if they can get up by a touchdown, they have the running game to hold a lead. I think they're just gonna Rico Doodle you to death,
Yeah.
Rico Doodle to the face.
To the
Rico Doodle to the
Ayo.
moon. Shout out
Ayo
to
to the
Team
moon.
Fastballs, 8-1. Nobody cares about your fantasy team, but mine is 8-1, so it's better than yours. Uh, I'm taking the Panthers here to cover at home. I think they are looking at the season after that win against the Packers. Like they can win the division. They still have 2 games left against the Bucks. They're a game within the Bucks. I
Yeah,
think they should be thinking division.
yeah,
The Bucks injuries, they're sketchy. Those guys aren't, healthy. Maybe they lost Mike Evans. Where's Chris Godwin at? So I think the
yeah.
Panthers here, they might be able to shock some people, maybe string some wins together here and make a run at that division. I think it starts with this game. Obviously, it started with that last
Yeah,
game against the Packers. I think they're gonna come back and honestly, I think they can win. They can win big
100%.
when they win, they at least win by a touchdown. They have a blowout win already this year,
Yeah,
so I think they can
yeah,
get another one. And the Saints is a good spot here.
yeah. I agree with all that. I agree. Let's hear it, Andy. What you thinking, Andy? Let's hear it, Quats.
Yeah, I'm not sure why people are so hesitant to buy in on the Panthers. They just keep saying week after week that this is a horrible team, even though they're now above 500 and
Yeah,
they just beat the Packers. I
yeah.
mean, the casuals were in on it early. We sniffed that line out from a mile away.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what Canny's thinking this week. The Panthers have lost one game at home all year, and it was to the Buffalo Bills. I
Come
don't
on.
think Tyler Shuck is going to be able to get it done. I
No,
think this run
you
game
shucking
is
me.
more than adequate enough to cover here. The Panthers defense is actually pretty solid this year.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck has
JC
two
Horn.
interceptions in 5 quarters. So JC Horn, get ready to show off them ball skills. I think he's going to get another one here.
Yep,
That
Yeah.
brings
yep,
us to
yeah.
our next game. Canny was the only one that faded, but this one might be interesting. We've got another divisional game. We've got the Buffalo Bills traveling down to South Beach to take on the Dolphins. The Bills are favored by 9.5, 6. What are you
Oof.
thinking?
So you know my takes on divisional games, and Ben, you brought it up with that last one with the Saints and the Panthers, but
Mm.
like you, I didn't think that would be considered one of those games because the divisional game, both teams have to actually try, and the Saints weren't planning on trying. You know what I mean? And the thing about the Dolphins is and their coach looks like he was probably this kind of kid when he was younger, but they're like that little annoying kid that just won't leave you alone. Like, dude, no one wants you here. You're like 5 years younger than everybody else. No one cares about you. You're annoying. Stop
He's
trying to
wearing your
make
clothes.
jokes.
He's wearing your
He's
clothes.
yeah, dude. He's that kid. And even though the Dolphins suck and they really shouldn't be trying anymore, they still try. They're still
Mm.
hard. They still want to win. And so I do think that this is going to be another one of those divisional games to where both teams go in here trying. But the thing about it is the Bills are in second place in the division. They're a game behind the Patriots, and they know this. And Josh Allen's pretty fucking good. Like pretty fucking good.
Mm.
So now I think this will be a divisional game. I think the Dolphins will fight hard for a quarter. And I think at some point the Bills are going to start kicking the fuck out of them. I think the Bills are really going to blow out the Dolphins. I think the Bills are on a mission to get back to first place. And until they get back to first place, they're not going to let go of that gas. They're not going to get back to first place because the Patriots are a good team, at least for a couple of weeks. But I think the Bills are about to go on a run, similar to what we're talking about with the Ravens. People expect this team to be good. Every year they say this is the year they'll beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Similar to the Ravens, I think that they say this for a reason. The Bills are a really good fucking team. Josh Allen's a really good quarterback. I think they're going to blow out the Bill or excuse me by the Dolphins by more than 10. So I'm taking the Bills spread. Let's,
Ooh.
Bug?
Uh, yeah, I think this is 9.5, right? 9.5 is
yeah,
spread here.
yeah.
I
Yes,
do
sir.
like what you said about the Dolphins keeping it close early. It does seem like they, can script together a good drive or two, or even a few if they can, force a turnover in the first half. But I do, even if it's what does give me hesitancy though about this game is that James Cook. I don't know if y'all seen that and the injury popped up. I don't know how serious it is. Maybe it's not that serious. Hope it's not. But
Wait and see, Sheens.
I think if he's healthy and they can run the ball and they can get a lead on them, I think 10 points or 9.5, while it is pretty high, I do like the Bills. They do win big when they win. They have some close games against some good teams. They beat the bad teams by double digits. So I
Exactly.
do I do like the Bills here by 9.5. I think I'm gonna roll with them as well.
All right. Th- This gives me my first fade in casuals
Oh
history.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm leaning I'm leaning with the Dolphins in
the
South Beach here.
Dolphins.
He did it. He
Yes,
did
sir.
it.
My Hawaiian brother Tua Tagovailoa playing in
Mm.
Uh,
the Miami Heat. It's getting into early November now. It's cold up in Buffalo, but it is still
okay.
warm in South Beach. I think that's going to be a big deal. And I think the
Okay.
Bills are coming off their Super Bowl. I think they put all their chips on the table to get one against Patty and the Chiefs. And I think they're going to feel that championship quote unquote hangover. I don't think they're going to be adequately prepared for a Dolphins team that is still
Yeah.
locked in for whatever reason. They did not sell at the trade deadline. They kept all their toys.
Yeah.
They're kind of forced into it because of that deal they paid Tua, so they're going to try to
Yeah.
get as many wins as they can. I think they get a big one here that they can sell in the off season.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe we missed the playoffs, but we did beat the Bills, and that's what really matters.
Hang the
So
banner.
I don't know about them winning outright, but 9.5 points is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm siding with the spread here. So that gives me my first fade in
Okay.
casual history. And that brings us to our next game. We've got the Patriots taking on the Buccaneers on the road. They're spotting the Patriots 2.5 points against Baker Mayfield. Bug, how do you feel about that? We got two elite quarterbacks going head to head here. What how do you feel?
Uh, two elite quarterbacks. Wow, I don't. The Jets
Baker
fan
and
in me
Drake,
will
man.
not call Drake May elite. That's I'm not gonna do that. But I think I was putting together, my picks and my stuff for this week. One of my locks I was kind of circling, but didn't choose was the Pats plus 2.5. I don't know why. I don't really know why, but besides the fact that I think that Mike Vrabel, he's obviously a very good coach.
Yes.
I think the Pats are playing some really good football. They're finding a way to win these games. And like I
Yeah.
said earlier with the Bucks, they, the injuries and who's playing and who's not, and if they're gonna be playing, who's Baker throwing the ball to? Is Baker gonna get banged up? I think that, Mike Vrabel, I think he's gonna find a way to win this game. And it pains me to say that. So the 2.5, getting 2.5 with a Pats defense that has been pretty good, although they have played a pretty bad schedule. The Bucks are coming off a bye, but I think I'm gonna roll with the points here at 2.5 and take the Pats.
I like that. I like that. I think that's a pretty solid take. I'm not going to agree with you though. I'll be honest with you. I'm taking the Bucks, and I think when you look at the Patriots' pass defense, it's not one of the better pass defenses in the league. I believe when I looked at earlier, they were seventh in pass, seventh worst in pass defense. The Bucks have obviously a really good pass offense. They're coming off a bye week. Ibuka's getting healthy. The two games before the bye week were Ibuka's two worst games of the season. I think it's has something to do with that hammy, or I believe it was something in his leg that was giving him some troubles. That bye week, he's going to have some extra rest. He's going to be back out there. He should be fresh. He should be healthy. I think Baker needed that week because Baker was also looking rough those past 2 weeks. I know they beat the Saints by like 20-3 or something, but that game was not pretty on the offensive side. Baker had some passes he missed. So I think giving him that bye week, giving him some time to rest, we're going to see a Baker that's rejuvenated. We're going to see a Buccaneers team that understands, hey, our back is against a wall. Last year, we proved we can make it to the playoffs and win this division. We need to prove it again this year because our backs are getting close to that wall. The Panthers are right on our heels. They just beat the Packers. The Bucks watched them beat the Packers during the bye weeks and watched them edge closer. I think you're going to see a hungry Bucks team is going to come out. They're well coached as well. I have respect for the Patriots. I think they're a great football team. I think they're still going to compete with the Bills for first in that division. But I do think this is a game they will drop. I think Drink May. I'm I'm yeah, I'm on the bus. Two. I'm on the bus for the Drake May bandwagon. I'm on it. He's him. He's him, man. That guy is crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. What he did to the Browns when he picked them apart, I was watching that game thinking, dang, this man May is nasty, bro. I don't even know who his receivers are. Like Butte, who is that guy? I mean, but no, all respect to Drake May, all respect to the Patriots. The Bucks are a really good football team, and I think they're taking this.
Yeah, I think that brings us to another split. Canny sided with the Bucks as well, but I'm going with the Pats here. The Pats haven't really played that many real teams except the Bills. Boog was laughing at me saying that this is two elite quarterbacks going head to head. I do kind of agree with that sentiment, but I actually lean the other way. I think I think Drake May has entered the elite conversation. And I think as hot as Baker was in the beginning of the year, I think he's just outside of it. I think
What?
he's got big balls. He's got a lot of arm
What?
talent and he makes some big plays. He's clutch, but I also think he does a lot of dumb things. And
Okay.
if this game turns into a shootout, I'm siding with Drake May and I'm siding with the points. So
Okay.
I'm going to take them plus 2.5 here.
I don't
And
hate that.
that brings us to, yeah,
That's
that brings
what
us
I
to
take.
our next game. 6, your Seahawks are hosting the Jacoby Brissett-led Arizona Cardinals.
Six
The
and a half.
Seahawks are piping hot, and they're favored by 6.5 points
Six and a
here.
half.
How do you feel about that line? Is
It's
that
disrespectful.
disrespectful?
Disrespectful. I don't care if they beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys suck. That is very disrespectful, in my opinion. I think we have one of the better teams in the league right now. I'm not going to be biased and say the best team in the league because I do think we are the best team in the league. But I won't be biased. We lost to the Bucks, and honestly, I still put the Bucks above us in the NFC. I still have us above the Rams, though. I think the Seahawks are the second best team in the NFC. I think the Lions lost to the Vikings. They could considerably be above us, but besides the Bucks and Lions, I don't have anyone in the NFC above the Seahawks. I think that the Seahawks are well team from defense to offense to special teams. Every facet of the game, there's just a well coached, a well unit, that cohesive unit all around the field. I think that the let me. I remember I could talk about the Seahawks all day. The rookie safety, he's finding his own. Let me talk on the Cardinals for a second. The Cardinals, I love Jacoby Brissett. I think Brissett's better for the Cardinals than Kyler Murray. I think he actually throws the ball better. I think he feeds McBride. I think he gives Marvin Harrison a chance to actually make a play. I think Jacoby Brissett is better for the Cardinals. He makes them more competitive. 6.5 is saying that we're not going to beat them by a touchdown. I do think we do beat them by a touchdown. It may be a little bit of bias speaking because Jacoby Brissett does put up numbers, but it's the defense of the Cardinals that I think is worries me. I think that our defense will slow down Brissett enough to where their defense won't be able to stop a nosebleed, and that's where it's going to come down to. We will win by more than a touchdown.
Bug, any arguments against that?
Wow. As I said earlier, the homerism is strong in the pod this week, but I'm gonna roll with Six God as well. I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks at 6.5. When you look at the Cardinals, they've been on a little cover streak here. They lost and covered against the Colts, lost and covered against Green Bay, won and covered against Dallas. Not We hate to say anybody's due for anything, but I think they've been keeping these games close, and I don't think the Cardinals are a good team. Congratulations to Jacoby Brissett for being named the starter and retiring Kyler Murray, maybe the full time Call of Duty player. If you trying to hop in with Sir Charles, you can run with us with Sheen's fastballs. Holla at us on Call of Duty, but I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks here. I think their defense is good. They just got a new toy to play with. I feel like if they get a lead, they're going to want to put up some points. They're going to want to make a statement that Six is saying that they are the team to beat in the NFC. That's a lot of gas being blown in their head, but I think it's deserved at this point, and definitely against the Cardinals. But shout out to Jacoby Brissett, though. I mean, you're still
Nah,
doing it. Still,
he's doing his
I'm
thing.
still
He's doing
got
his
it.
thing.
I'm
Unc
still
still
doing
got it.
it.
Yeah, it's just Jacoby Brissett. I do think this run is pretty fake from the Cards here. I do think inserting him did give them life. I think Kyler Murray built some pretty bad habits in his time in Arizona that Jacoby Brissett just doesn't have, and that's made them a more competent offense. But I do think Six tried to keep it under control, but I'm gonna gas up the Seahawks a bit here. I do think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I think they're one of the most complete rosters in the NFL. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're one of the most well coached units as well. I think the Jags, their Seahawks matchup was one of the only games where Liam Cohen got thoroughly outcoached. Mike McDonald pressed the right buttons. That game was a slugfest for sure, but he was able to hit on just a couple big plays that made the difference. And I don't really think they're going to need that against the Cardinals. I think the Seahawks are going to whoop ass here. I think they're going to take advantage of Rashid Shaheed, and the Cardinals just do not have enough to slow them down. I think they're going to roll easily by a touchdown. I definitely considered them for my lotto, teasing that lineup, but yeah, easily cover, and that gives us another sweep, our third of the week. I don't know about this next one. This next one, we've got the Rams going on the road in another divisional matchup against the Niners. They lost to the Niners already earlier this season, but in this game, they're favored by 4.5 points, 6. How do you feel about that?
Now this is another example. Divisional games, they're intense. The Niners Rams. This is going to be an intense matchup. Might be the game of the week, to be honest with you. Might be the game
Mm-hmm.
of the week. I think it's going to be close game. It's not going to be won by more than 4 points. So I'm taking the spread for I believe it's the Niners to cover the 4 point spread. I do think the Rams win, maybe by a field goal. I wouldn't be shocked that the Niners won. This NFC West, outside the Cardinals, whenever the Rams, Seahawks, or Niners play, it doesn't matter how bad either one of them are that season. It's always a close game. I remember 2014 when the Seahawks were unbelievable. Pretty sure the Rams were awful that year. They beat us, I believe, twice that year. It doesn't make sense to me. The Rams, the Seahawks, and Niners, anytime they play each other, it's always a great game. The Rams Niners is going to be a great game. It's going to be a hard fought game. I do got to give my respect to Matthew Stafford because I tell you what, I thought the old man was done, man. I was ready to give him the retirement pass. I was ready to send him to Sunny Acres. But that dude, he took the cortisone shot, whatever it is, to the back, and epidural, I don't know. But he took a shot to the back every single game, and that man throws dots. He is the best quarterback when being blitzed. He is unbelievable. Devontae Adams has been fantastic there. Puka, I can't stand Puka, but damn, he's such a nice guy. It's hard to hate him. He's like one of those guys that's just so fucking nice that you feel bad that you don't like him, but I hate that guy. He's so freaking good. He's going to go off, but I do think it's going to be within 4 points. So I'm taking the Niners on the spread. I'm at +4. I'm taking the Niners.
Look, how you feel?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the division matchup juju here, and I'm gonna take the Niners plus 4.5 as well. They were also, I was looking at them for one of my locks as well. It is not, but I was looking at it as well. I do like how the Niners played against the Giants. I like how they put points up on the board. Mac Jones looks, you know, he looks like the quarterback that Kyle Shanahan wanted, in the draft way back when.
Yeah,
And I think that,
yeah,
Brock Purdy, soft benching maybe, you know, I don't know if we might not see Brock Purdy if Mac Jones keeps running the offense like he is, because he looked good
he
against the
looks good.
Giants. Albeit it was against the Giants, but he did look good. I know that the Rams are looking to avenge their loss earlier, but like Six said here, it's a division game. They're gonna play it close, and if you're gonna give me a point and a half in a field goal game, I'm gonna take that. So I'm going with the
Yeah,
Niners plus 4.5.
yeah, yeah,
All right, well, that's going to give us another split. Canny sided with the Rams, and I'm going to have to too. We've been talking about quote unquote must win games this early in the season. This is as much of a must win game as it can get for the Rams at this point in the year.
yeah,
They're currently third in the division, I believe,
yeah.
because of their divisional record with that loss to the Niners earlier, despite how great they've looked as of late. And I think they're going to want to come out and make a statement here. Matthew Stafford has been red hot, and maybe I just love the teams that wax the Jaguars. It's because I want the Jags to get a bit more respect. But no, I think the Rams are a great team. I think the Niners injuries are starting to catch up to them. I do think that Giants game was a little fake. The Niners got put on blast by the Texans, and the Texans are not a great team. I think as great as Shanahan is and as deep as that roster is and as much juice as he's squeezing out of it comes to a point. I think 4.5 is a bit too low. I'm going with the Rams here. All right, on to our next
Okay.
game. We've got the Detroit Lions looking for a bounce back, and they have a favorable matchup against the reeling Washington Commanders. The Lions are favored by 8.5. Bug, why don't you open us up here?
Hey, this isn't gonna take me long. There's not much thought behind it. I'm betting against Marcus Mariota. I don't care what the spread is. I'm betting against Marcus Mariota. Any team that's starting Marcus Mariota at quarterback, I'm taking it. Is Jay Dale's playing? Is he playing?
No, he's done. He's done for
Oh
the
yeah,
No,
year.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
he
No,
dislocated his
I
shoulder.
didn't even mean
He's
to do that.
cooked.
I didn't even
That's
mean to
fucked
do that.
up. That's messed
I
up,
didn't
dude.
mean to.
That's
Hey,
messed up.
hey, shout out to my DC people out there. I didn't mean to do that. My fault.
He's a nice kid, man.
But yeah, if it's Marcus Mariota, I'm taking that. I'm taking the 8.5. Detroit, they need to avenge a loss. They need to take it out on somebody. Dan Campbell is in his nearest Applebee's. What is that? What commercial is he in? Applebee's?
I think it is Applebee's.
He's in his nearest Applebee's or Chili's,
Yeah.
drawing up something diabolical to Dan Quinn and company.
On
So
the
I'm gonna
napkin.
take, yeah, on the napkin. He's dialing up something nasty with a rum and coke and some sizzling fajitas.
That's not Coca-Cola that you're talking about. No,
Six.
man.
What do you
Give
think?
me the Lions, man. Give me the Lions,
Yeah.
man. Give me the
No,
Lions.
I think this, and the thing is this was almost my lock. I don't care if the spread was 10 points. This was almost my lock
Yeah.
as well. Jared Goff is my lotto play for 2.5 passing touchdowns because I think he's gonna have over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think the Lions are they just lost last week to the Vikings. Given that was divisional matchup, they lost, and the fact that it was a divisional matchup actually pisses off the Lions even more. And their
Mm.
coach is, we joke about him and doing coke and whatnot. He doesn't do drugs. Don't go drug testing him. But his energy that he has is a strong energy. I mean, he has a strong energy to him, and so he's not going to let them live down that loss. They're going to come into this game hyped up just like their coaches for the next however long it is until the rest finally say, okay, mercy rule. They're going to dominate the Commanders. Marcus Mariota, I love you, Marcus. It's over, my brother. You're going to get
Yeah.
murked by this team. The Lions
Yeah.
are going to show why they're the Lions. Jared Goff is going to probably throw for 5 interceptions, but still throw for 5 touchdowns because that's what he likes to do. They just don't like to punt the ball, is the reason why. But the Lions are going to
And sh- and
mollywop this team.
and I'm gonna stick up for DC. Also, like I said, I feel very sorry about my blunder earlier. Not remember my man's arm kind of looked like that, so my fault. But to stick up, like I said, Dan Quinn. I don't know what's up with bro. I don't know why Jay Nails was in that game. Can we talk
Dude,
about that for a little bit? Like you're
dude.
getting
Yeah, no.
demolished by the Seahawks.
Yeah.
They're up by 3 touchdowns. I think. What was the score? 31-7 at
It,
that
it
point.
was it was a blowout.
And
And
it's
the
like,
thing,
why is he in the game? Take him out
why?
of the protect your star quarterback. He's already been hurt
Yeah.
twice this year. Why is he in that game? That is
Yeah.
malpractice as a man with no quarterback on his team.
Yeah. And
Why are you doing this? Why?
why are you doing this? And you know what? I'll tell you about Dan Quinn. Ever since he was with us, he came to Seattle, I believe, in 2014, was a defensive coordinator for 1 year, and then went off. I think actually went off to like Jaguars or somebody. I don't know. He went off to go be a head coach somewhere. And when he was with us, I used to say, dude, everyone praises Dan Quinn, but he came into the Legion of Boom. He didn't build the Legion of Boom. He didn't scheme the Legion of Boom. He came
Mm.
into the Legion of Boom. And he's been, in my opinion, he's been getting carried from that one season with Legion of Boom for his whole entire career. He has not been a good coach at any point of his career. Every team he's gone to has been bad. He was supposed to be a defensive minded coach. He's never had a good defense. And the Commanders, they're the second worst team against the pass. They give up the second most passing yards. They're not a good defense. They're not a good team. Last year they were carried by a rookie Jaden Daniels that came out of nowhere who had no film, who nobody knew how to scheme against. He was unbelievable last year. He keeps on getting hurt this year, and without Jaden Daniels, his savior, Dan Quinn is once again being exposed as a not a good football coach. He's going to get fired after this year, or at least he should be. But regardless,
Oh.
Commanders are second worst in pass defense. They might become the worst in pass defense after this game.
Yeah, we did not have Dan Quinn, by the way. That was the Atlanta Falcons. We had a different fake beneficiary of the Legion of Boom era. We had the Gus Bus.
That's who it
Shout out Gus
was. That's
Bradley's
who it
bald
was.
ass. He was also ass. But yeah, no, I think this is an especially bad matchup for this Commanders team. Their defense is old as hell and slow as hell,
Yeah.
and the Lions are built on speed. Like we've said before, they have no problem running it up, and now coming off a pretty embarrassing loss, I think they're going to want to get back into the good graces and show that they're a true contender. And yeah, I think this line is just way too low. That
Yeah.
gives us our fourth sweep of the week because Canny also sided with the Lions -8.5.
Mhm.
I know for sure this next one is not going to be a sweep. We've got the Steelers going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Chargers and their myriad home fans. The Chargers are favored by 3.6. What are you thinking?
So, oh, see, this is a hard one for me. This is one of the ones, my opinion, might be the hardest. I think this is the game I've gone the most back and forth. I want to say Chargers. I want to say Chargers, and I'll tell you why I want to say Chargers because of their defense, and I think Justin Herbert is entering a good prime of his career. I don't think Justin Herbert's as good as everybody says. I'll come right out and say it. He was never even close to my top five quarterbacks at any point of his career, and there were some people who put
Ooh.
him at four last year. He was never even close to top five. I don't care what Joe Burrow hurt. He was never close to my personal top five quarterback. So I do think he's very overrated, but with that, he's still a very good quarterback. So I want to say Chargers. I really do. And, the fact that the Steelers have those extra 3 points, though, is what's holding me. If it was 2.5, I would take Chargers. But do I think they beat them by more than a field goal? The Steelers last week were extremely oppressive. Steelers have had a pretty darn good season with Aaron Rodgers and their defense was their best game last year. Mike Tomlin is a good coach, and this is one of those games I really went back and forth. But what came down to me is I still don't trust the Steelers pass defense. I still don't. I know they had a great game last year, last week. Before last week, the Steelers gave up the second most pass yards. After last week, they were very solid. They're still ranked as the fourth worst pass yards or fourth most pass yards given up by defense. And like I said, I'm not a big Justin Herbert fan, but I do think he can sling the rock. So off of that basis, I'm taking the Chargers. -3. I'm still taking the Chargers, just because I think they just have a little bit better of an offense than the Steelers.
Bug? What you thinking?
Yeah, like Six said, this was the toughest one for me to call this week. The +3 is really sitting right there for the Steelers, who are coming off a massive win. I mean, where they only
Massive.
won by 7 against the Colts, but it felt
Yeah,
like they won by more than that.
it felt like more.
Don't really trust, Perk Rogers. I'm not, as a Jets fan, I am embattled with his time here, so I don't
PTSD.
necessarily want to root for him, but I don't know. There's just something about, primetime game, Mike Tomlin, and he's a 3 point underdog. He was a 3 point underdog last game. I think he might be in put some respect on me mode. They lost to the Bengals and the Packers, and I feel like the Steelers they need to win some games to kind of keep pace with the Ravens, kind of keep them off their heels.
Okay.
The +3 is right there. I don't know if they win, but I feel like this is a field goal game. I think,
Yeah.
Tomlin's going to keep it close regardless. So I'm going to take the +3. I know it's in LA, but, I feel like there might be as many Steelers fans as Chargers fans, maybe. So
Yeah.
that might factor
Yeah.
into it as well.
Always.
So I'm going to take the +3. I'm going to take Perky Rogers.
Kirk Rogers, yeah, it's split week this week, maybe. Canny sided with the Chargers. I'm actually going to defend Jay Urbo a little bit here. I do think he's a top five quarterback. I think what he's doing this season kind of cements that he's by far the most pressured quarterback in the league. That offensive line has been absolutely ravaged, and it was full
Yeah,
of holes to begin with. And now they're
yeah,
down some of their top linemen. He's on the run practically every play, and he's the one probably doing the best impression of a one man show in the NFL right now. But I don't think it's going to be enough against the Steelers. I don't want to say they're going to win outright, but I do think Pittsburgh is coming off a huge momentum game. And like Ben said, they're going to want to keep rolling because the Ravens are rolling. This AFC playoff picture is getting pretty messy. So I think
yeah.
the Steelers are going to want to take advantage of this one. Their pass rush looks a lot better. Jalen Ramsey moving to safety, I think, was a huge power move. At this point in his career, he just doesn't have the speed to keep up with receivers on the outside, but he still has his physicality. He still has his brain. The Steelers have been great at getting takeaways all season. That's been one of their main strengths on defense, even when they were struggling. As much as I love Jay Urbo, he's good for a dumb throw or two a game for sure. I do think the
Yeah.
Steelers are going to get one.
Mm.
But yeah, so another split for us. I don't know about this next one. Me and Canny for sure are at least on the same side. We've got the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles coming off a bye, going on the road to take a reeling Green Bay Packers team coming off a bad loss. Philly is actually the underdogs in this one. They're given
Mm.
two and a half points.
Mm.
Bug six.
What?
Which one of y'all
Well,
wants to open here?
let me go ahead, Booger. You take it. Go ahead, Booger. No, please be my guest.
Let
I
me
got some
let
strong
me.
opinions.
You got some. Oh, if yours is
No, no,
strong,
no,
good.
no, no. Go ahead. Go
Because
ahead.
mine
Go
not
ahead.
really that strong. So if yours is army strong, I say you
I'm
get
gonna
them all
step in. I'm gonna step in,
casually,
man.
just casually though.
It,
Casually
it
step in.
just casually, just casually, casually. This pisses me off so much, bro. Like, I don't know I don't know why the Packers must have the biggest schlong in the world to have this many people on their dick, man.
Yeah,
What? Because they
yeah.
got Michael Parsons, we just automatically said, "Oh, they're the best team in the NFC." They're not even the best team in their division.
In
I
that
don't even know
voice
if they're
too. In that
I,
voice too.
in that exact voice. I don't even know if they're top two in their division. I do put them above the Vikings, yes, but the fact that people over here saying, "Oh, the Packers, they're taking the NFC,"
Yeah,
what? Like, who came
yeah.
up with this? Michael Parsons is a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong.
Mm,
He doesn't make Jordan Love good. He doesn't
yeah.
make Romeo Dobbs elite. He
Mm,
doesn't. Josh Jacobs is elite. I love Josh Jacobs. Yes, I'm
mm,
gonna give him his respect. But
mm,
and this probably infuriates me so much because I think the Seahawks should be above the Packers in every kind of power ranking all season long. We should have been, but the dick riding of the Packers to say they should beat the Eagles. Like, come on now. What are we doing? Saquon's gonna go
yeah.
off for probably about 250. Man, come on now. What are we doing? Eagles
Man,
are
come
covering the
on.
spread. Come on.
250. No,
Stupid.
my opinions weren't as army strong, but in my notes for this week, I wrote there was a bullet point that just was what's up with Jordan Love. You know, from a bird's eye view, the numbers they look fine. Like I think he's like 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's throwing for,
Yeah.
260 yards a game. Like on paper, like the numbers look good, but watching that Panthers game, I just that was so the throws he were making, some of them were so horrendous. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know like what was going on in his brain. There was one that was
Yeah.
dropped in the end zone. That was the craziest pass I've ever seen in an NFL game in a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a little disrespectful to the Eagles. I'm with six. The Green Bay respect, I feel like it's ran on too long. They
It's
just lost probably their best offensive weapon this year. Outside of Josh Jacobs and Tucker Craft,
right. Right. Tucker
he just
Craft.
tore his ACL, so he's out for the year. They're down their best weapon. Matt LaFleur is a
Yeah.
is a good coach. I will give them credit there. He can
100%.
probably scheme something up to keep this game close, but I think the Eagles coming off a bye, they've been waiting for this game. They've been circling this game. They've been hearing the best
Yeah.
team in the NFC chatter.
Yeah.
This is a game that they're gonna be up for. I think It's gonna be in Lambeau, so it's gonna be a tough environment to win in, obviously. But I think the 2.5. I think when you have the defending champs coming off a bye as an underdog, I think you got to take the points here. I'm going with the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to give us our fifth sweep of the week. Canny also leaned with the Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles as well. This is a
Mhm.
very narrative based line, it feels like. Like Six said, everyone's been ready to crown the Packers, and they just haven't been all that impressive.
Oh,
I do think
No.
Jordan Love is playing pretty good, but I'm not ready to throw him in elite talks. He's goddamn 27 years old. We're calling him
yeah.
the next best thing since sliced bread. He's older than
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. Like this might
Yeah.
be what he is. He might be, someone who can make plays, extend some plays sometimes, play a little bit out of structure, but ultimately he's a plus game manager. And I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that's not what Trevor Lawrence is either, but I think people are being a little bit premature to call him an elite quarterback. And yeah, the Micah Parsons addition is certainly nice for the Packers, but their defense has been very on and off, and the Eagles are very familiar with Micah Parsons. They're, they've handled him with the Cowboys. I think they'll handle him with the Packers as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that wraps up our spread picks for the week. Let's move on to our locks. I'll speak for Canny here since he's not with us. He locked
Did we touch
Six's team, the Seahawks.
the Jets Patriots?
Yeah, we did.
Or am I? Oh, okay, my bad.
No,
Oh,
that's
sorry. Jets Patriots is next week. I put that on the
yeah.
agenda there, but that's
Oh, my
actually
bad.
next week.
My bad. My bad. Looking too deep.
That's on me.
Too deep.
That's on
Dog
me.
pound.
That's
We
on me.
got the
That's
dog
on me.
pound. Remember
Yeah, we're
the
looking
parental
ahead.
advisory for the
We're
dog
two
pound?
weeks ahead.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. The DD show.
But yeah, let's do some locks. Canny locked the Seahawks -6.5 against the Cardinals. I think that's a great pick. I locked the Patriots +2.5. Bug, you want to talk about your lock?
Yeah, I've been alluding to it all episode, but my lock for the week is I'm gonna take the Ravens -4.5.
I think those are
All
all.
right.
I think you guys all spoke on some great locks. I'm gonna be honest. My top two locks got taken by both of you guys on this call with us, so I'm gonna have to pivot to what my third lock was. I mean, all right, if we were doing homers, if I was allowed to be a homer, honestly, you guys probably took my top three locks. Let's be real. But no, I'm gonna continue on. I think my lock is going to be the Lions. I think I'm gonna stick with the Commanders have one of the worst pass defenses, and golf is gonna go crazy. So I'm taking the Lions on the covering the spread. That's my lock for the week.
You got an eye on the Lions, so you might be you're 1-0. So you just keep
I'm
going
trying
with
to
it.
tell you.
Just
I
keep
see
going with
right through Dan
it.
Campbell, man. I
are,
know
are
his
you Dan
supplier. I'm
Campbell?
playing.
Do you work at the Applebee's?
I'll be working out. No big deal. I'm his gym. I'm his
That's
trainer.
a great transition. You're locking the Lions -8.5. That means you think Jared Goff's going to have a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Uh, go ahead and talk about your lotto pick.
Yeah, so as I've been mentioning throughout, that Commanders pass defense is weak. Shout out Marshawn Lattimore, fantastic corner, but that pass defense overall is weak. The defense and the offense will not have any effort in this game because they lost it all when they got their ass kicked by the Seahawks and lost the franchise quarterback. So with that said, the Lions, they're going to be heated up from getting their ass kicked by a divisional opponent. Jared Goff is going to have a day. He is going to go for at least, in my opinion, 4 touchdowns. The line was set only over 2.5. So that means we got a whole extra touchdown than what I thought would happen. So over 2.5 is plus, I believe, 144. Smash that for Jared Goff.
Bug.
Nice. I'm gonna go with the birds here. I'm gonna go with AJ Brown anytime touchdown +165. I think like we talked about, the Eagles have been waiting for this game. They've had it on the bye. They've circled it. They're ready for it. AJ Brown cries for it enough. I think he's gonna keep crying until he gets into the end zone at least 10 times in the season. So I'm going with AJ Brown anytime touchdown +165.
All right. And that brings it to me. Like I said earlier, I do think the Rams are looking for a statement game against a divisional opponent. They're 0-1 in the division right now. They need to climb the NFC West to try to give themselves a guaranteed playoff seed that NFC playoff picture is brutal. So they're going to want to climb the division. I think they're going to win by 8 points or more at the 49ers. That puts you at plus 152.
Ooh.
But I'm going to put you on the spot here to talk about Canny's pick, Saints money line at Panthers plus 205. Why don't you give us your best Canny impression and try to defend this pick here?
In my home country, we have a saying, you go big or go home. So what I was thinking, was Tyler Shook is he's bad, but he's not that bad, So why not ruin the parlay and go bet on the Saints,
Hey,
No,
this man Kenny said I ended the parlay last week on the first game of the week. I'm gonna end the parlay this week with the damn Saints. No, I'm a ride out. I trust in Kenny. I can see the vision. It's a divisional game. The Panthers are a young team. The Saints might have something to prove. I'm gonna try to look on the upside for Kenny.
the Saints is so bad, man.
They
Like
are. I'm trying
they're
hard
so
here.
they're so bad. Like
I'm
I
trying hard
just
here.
money line, like for them to win outright, like they're 5.5 point underdogs. Win outright in the parlay picks, like gamble responsibly, my nigga. If you bet on the Saints money line, my nigga, you are sick in there.
That is not a casual pick. That is a degenerate pick. If you do want to ride with the Saints and the Utes, Canny, that's available to you at plus 205. If you string all our lottery picks together, you get almost plus 5,000. $100 would win you $4,900. Just in case, I went ahead and ran the numbers without Canny's leg. If you're feeling froggy, that still gets you to plus 1,543. $100 will net you a
Sounds
band and a
great.
half.
There we
Sounds
go.
great.
We
That
Not
sounds
found it
not to
there.
great.
throw my boy under
Ask
the
for
bus, but 3 legs for $1,500 is pretty nice.
It's not bad.
But
You dirty
Not
mother
bad.
shucker. You
that'll be it
dirty
from
mother
us. Y'all
shucker.
boys want to sign out. This was Casuals, episode 2. It's been
Give
fun.
me 6, baby.
Pray for
Much
Candy, bro.
love. Go
He's
Hawks.
sick in the head, bro. Pray for
Shout out
Candy,
Candy.
dog.
Shout out Candy. We miss you, Candy. We miss you. We miss you,
Keep it
Candy.
Yeah, we need
casual,
Canny to
man.
get back on the pod next week
Please, bro.
so
And
we can
yo,
cook his ass.
Yo,
when
when the
they
Saints hit,
when this loses, we gotta fry him, bro. We have to fry him. Casually though, but casually.
all right, y'all. Y'all stay
Casually.
safe. Keep it casual. Much love, y'all.
Peace,
Keep it
man.
casual.
Peace.
Keep it casual. Gamble responsibly.